Jesus prayed one prayer the night before he died, not for himself to be saved from the cross, but for one thing that would change everything, the strength to finish what he started, and that prayer holds the secret to never giving up. Father God, I come to you today with John 17:4 burning in my heart, the prayer of Jesus, your Son, hours before his arrest, hours before the beatings and the mockery and the nails. And in that moment, knowing everything that was coming, he prayed these words, I have brought you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. Lord, I need to sit with this moment for a second, because this wasn't just any prayer. This was the night before everything changed. Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane with his disciples. He knew Judas was about to betray him. He knew Peter would deny him. He knew the religious leaders were plotting. He knew the Romans were waiting with whips and thorns and a wooden cross. He knew the physical pain that was coming, Father. The beatings that would tear his skin, the crown of thorns pressed into his skull, the nails driven through his wrists and feet, the suffocation, the agony, the humiliation of hanging naked in front of a mocking crowd. But even more than the physical pain, he knew the spiritual weight he was about to carry. Every sin, every betrayal, every act of violence and hatred and selfishness that humanity had ever committed or ever would commit. He was about to take all of that on himself. He was about to experience separation from you for the first time in all of eternity. He was about to bear the full weight of your wrath against sin. And Jesus could have walked away, God. He could have said it was too much. He could have called down angels to rescue him. He could have chosen an easier path, but he didn't. Instead, he prayed. And his prayer wasn't asking for a way out. It was declaring something that hadn't even happened yet. I have brought you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. Past tense, Lord, as if it was already done, as if the cross was already behind him, as if the resurrection had already happened. Jesus was looking at the hardest thing he would ever face and declaring ahead of time that he would finish it, that he would complete what you sent him to do, that he would bring you glory by persevering all the way to the end. Father, I want to understand what Jesus meant when he said, the work you gave me to do. Because Jesus did a lot of things during his time on earth. He healed the sick, he cast out demons, he taught in synagogues, he fed thousands, he raised the dead, he turned water into wine, he walked on water. He spoke with authority and wisdom that amazed everyone who heard him. But none of those things were the work, God. Those were signs, evidence, proof of who he was. The real work was something deeper, something harder, something only Jesus could do. The work was redemption, Lord. It was becoming the sacrifice. It was taking the punishment we deserved. It was bridging the gap between holy God and sinful humanity. It was paying the price for sin once and for all. It was defeating death itself. It was opening the way back to you. And that work required finishing, Father. It required going all the way to the end, because if Jesus had stopped before the cross, we'd still be lost. If he'd given up during the beatings, there'd be no salvation. If he'd come down from the cross when they mocked him and dared him to save himself, redemption would have failed. The work had to be finished, completed, done. That's why Jesus said those words on the cross, God. It is finished. Not I'm finished, like he was just exhausted and giving up. But it is finished like a task completed, a mission accomplished, a work brought to completion. He did what he came to do. He didn't stop halfway. He didn't quit when it got hard. He persevered all the way to the end. And now he was praying that same truth hours before it happened, Lord. I have brought you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. He was anchoring himself in that reality. He was declaring it over himself. He was choosing perseverance before the battle even began. Father, I need to talk about what it means to finish, Because we live in a world that celebrates starting. We love new beginnings, fresh starts, big dreams, grand visions. We get excited about launching something, starting the journey, taking the first step. And that's good, God. Starting matters, but finishing is what changes everything. Finishing is what brings glory to you. Finishing is what completes the work. And finishing is so much harder than starting. Jesus knew this, Lord. He could have had an easier ministry. He could have stayed popular. He could have avoided controversy. He could have given people what they wanted instead of what they needed. He could have skipped Jerusalem. He could have hidden from the authorities. He could have chosen survival over sacrifice. But that wouldn't have finished the work, Father. That wouldn't have brought you glory. That wouldn't have saved anyone. So Jesus did the hard thing. He set his face toward Jerusalem. He walked willingly into the trap. He surrendered himself to arrest. He stood silent before his accusers. He carried his cross. He let them nail him to it. He stayed there until he could say, "It is finished." That's perseverance, God. That's what it means to finish the work you gave us to do. It's not about doing what's easy or comfortable or applauded. It's about doing what you called us to do, even when everything in us wants to quit, even when the cost is higher than we thought, even when nobody understands, even when we're alone and hurting and wondering if it's worth it. Lord, I think about the times I've wanted to quit, the times I started something you called me to and then hit resistance, hit pain, hit obstacles I didn't expect, hit criticism from people I thought would support me, hit seasons where nothing seemed to be working and I couldn't see the point anymore. And in those moments, Father, quitting felt like wisdom. It felt like self-care. It felt like the smart thing to do. Why keep going when it's this hard? Why keep pushing when there's no visible progress? Why keep sacrificing when nobody seems to appreciate it? Why finish something that's costing me this much? But then I look at Jesus, God. I look at what finishing cost him. I look at how hard it was, how painful, how lonely, how misunderstood. And he didn't quit. He didn't stop. He didn't decide it was too much. He finished, because finishing was the only way to bring you glory. Finishing was the only way to complete the work. Finishing was the only way to save us. And if Jesus needed to persevere, Lord, how much more do I need to persevere? If Jesus needed to push through when everything in him wanted to stop, how much more do I need that same strength? If Jesus needed to fix his eyes on the joy set before him and endure the cross, how much more do I need to fix my eyes on what you've called me to and endure whatever comes? Father, here's what I'm learning. Finishing isn't about having enough strength on my own. Jesus didn't finish because he was strong enough by himself. He finished because he was connected to you. He prayed. He surrendered. He depended on your strength flowing through him. He trusted that you would give him what he needed to complete what you called him to do. That's what this prayer is about, God. I have brought you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. Jesus is acknowledging that the work came from you. You gave it to him. You equipped him for it. You would sustain him through it. And when he finished, the glory would go back to you, not to him, to you. And that takes so much pressure off, Lord, because I'm not finishing work to prove I'm good enough. I'm not persevering to earn your approval. I'm not pushing through to show everyone how strong I am. I'm finishing because you gave me something to do. You equipped me for it. You'll sustain me through it. And when it's done, you get the glory. That changes everything, Father, because now it's not about me being impressive. It's about you being faithful. It's not about me never struggling or doubting or feeling weak. It's about you giving me strength when I have none left. It's not about me doing this perfectly. It's about me doing this obediently, finishing what you started in me, completing what you called me to complete. Lord, I think about all the unfinished things in my life, projects I started and abandoned, relationships I gave up on, dreams I let die, callings I walked away from because they got too hard, commitments I broke because I didn't think I could keep them. And I feel the weight of that, God. The regret, the shame, the wondering what could have been if I'd just persevered. But I also know this, Father. It's never too late to start finishing. It's never too late to pick up what I dropped. It's never too late to return to what you called me to do. Jesus finished his work. And because he finished, I can finish too. Because he persevered, I can persevere. Because he brought you glory by completing what you gave him, I can bring you glory the same way. So, Father, I pray this prayer with Jesus today. Not the night before my death, but right now, in the middle of whatever work you've given me to do. I declare that I will bring you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. Not by starting well, God. Not by having good intentions. Not by being excited at the beginning. But by finishing. By persevering. By pushing through when it's hard. By staying faithful when nobody's watching. By completing what you called me to complete, even if it costs me everything. I don't know what finishing will require of me, Lord. I don't know how hard it will be. I don't know what I'll have to sacrifice. I don't know how long it will take, but I know this. You gave me this work. You equipped me for it. You'll sustain me through it. And when it's done, you'll get the glory. And that's enough, Father. That has to be enough. Because if Jesus could finish his work, the hardest work anyone has ever been given, then I can finish mine. If Jesus could persevere through betrayal and beatings and crucifixion, then I can persevere through whatever obstacles are in front of me. If Jesus could say it is finished and mean it, then one day I want to say the same thing. I want to get to the end of my life, God, and know I finished what you gave me to do. I didn't quit halfway. I didn't give up when it got hard. I didn't choose comfort over calling. I didn't let fear or pain or criticism stop me from completing the work. I brought you glory by finishing, and I can't do that in my own strength, Lord. I know I can't. I've tried, I've failed, I've started things and not finished them because I was relying on myself. But Jesus didn't rely on himself. He relied on you. He prayed. He surrendered. He drew strength from your presence. And that's what I need to do too. So give me perseverance, Father. Give me endurance. Give me the strength to keep going when everything in me wants to stop. Give me the vision to see beyond the pain to the purpose. Give me the faith to believe that finishing matters, that completing the work brings you glory, that persevering to the end is worth whatever it costs. So, God, if there's someone watching this right now who's in the middle of something hard, who's tempted to quit, who's wondering if they can really finish what they started, who feels like giving up would be easier than pushing through, I pray they hear what Jesus is saying from that garden the night before everything changed. Finishing is possible. Perseverance is possible. Completing the work God gave you is possible. Not because you're strong enough on your own, but because God is strong in you. Not because it won't be hard, but because God will sustain you through the hard things. Not because you have to do it perfectly, but because you have to do it faithfully. Jesus finished his work, Lord, the hardest work, the most painful work, the most important work. And he did it by staying connected to you, by praying, by surrendering, by trusting you would give him everything he needed to complete what you called him to do. That's the prayer of Jesus. That's the heart of John 17:4. A prayer for perseverance, a declaration of finishing, a commitment to bring you glory by completing the work, no matter what it costs. Father, I receive this prayer today. I commit to finishing what you gave me to do. I choose perseverance over quitting. I choose faithfulness over comfort. I choose to bring you glory by completing the work. Give me the strength to finish, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.